Hey guys, Paul from Net Audio here, and today we're going to talk about Jeeps. We're known, obviously, around the internet for our Dodge products. Well, Dodge products kind of directly relate over to Jeep products in a lot of ways because it's still Mopar. So just like we have all of our harnesses and interfaces for Dodge trucks and cars, of course we have those same interfaces and wiring options for the Jeeps because it's the same platform. With that, I mean, we've been making Jeep subwoofer enclosures for, I don't know, 15 plus years. 07 to 18 Jeep Wrangler JKU. So we're talking about that whole platform today. This is a design that we've had probably for, I don't know, 7 years. It's a two-piece solution. There's a couple of options depending on the year range of your Jeep, and you're just going to have to specify that with us. It's a good solution for customers who are after what Jeep people typically want. You know, a little bit of bass, discreet, but also keeping your cargo space. If you're familiar with your Jeeps, then we have an enclosure that fits in the tub that's in the back of the Jeep. So you open the tailgate and you have a little false floor, a little cargo door, you flip it up and you have this little plastic tub. Take that out, and we have our fiberglass box that just drops into place. Our mold is not a direct copy. We laid our fiberglass and everything to make our mold into the floor, but then we spaced it up a little bit. It's really common in Jeeps to add some sound deadening. You know, it's a Jeep. They're freaking noisy. They're not intended to be luxury vehicles. The JLs are a lot better at that, but they're still noisy. It's an off-road vehicle. So yeah, they're just noisy vehicles. So when we made our mold to fit in there, we left a gap in order to put sound deadening, foam, something. This drops into place. It's all fiberglass. It's a two-piece top. The top is made out of 1/2 inch, but it's skeletonized on the bottom in order to get us a little bit more airspace. This is only roughly about 0.6 cubic foot. It's not a lot of space, but for a lot of your shallow 10s, it's perfect. For a pair of shallow 8s, even some traditional 8s, it's perfect. So like I said, for people who are after a little bit of bass, something better than factory, not something that you're going to rattle your teeth. This in the back of a hardtop Jeep, man, it rocks. We've done the Hertz Melee Pro shallow 10s in here, Audison shallow 10s. We've done a Kicker L7T 10. Kenwood shallow 8s, Rockford shallow 8s, Kicker shallow 8s. I mean, we've built a lot of these enclosures for end users and for shops too. So it's a somewhat popular setup. We just never talk about it. So one of the differences on these years is when you take out the tub, some of them, that tub is built into a little plastic tray that goes at the edge of the threshold. So on some trucks, some Jeeps, that has to get cut off if you want to keep the organizer that keeps your like your door hardware and all that stuff. So like in the 07s, it's a separate part than it is for the tub. And then somewhere in there, they changed it where it's all one piece. It's just kind of up to your Jeep. Also on the Jeeps, there's a little spring-loaded latch that keeps the flap in place. That piece, it's down here and it's in the way of our trim piece that fits there. So if that has to come out, and honestly, that's the biggest pain in the butt of the entire process. It can come out without destroying it. It's just a pain. The base, it slides in through sheet metal, and it's a square-shaped base, and it has 2 spring clips on either side. So you have teeth that go like this. Getting the side, and it comes in from where your spare tire tools are, because your tools go right here, and then you have this little attachment. Getting the side over here, getting those teeth come off, it's not a big deal. Getting the other 2 off, man, it flipping sucks. I've done it before, I think twice, where we can get it out without destroying it. It's up to you. It is doable. Or you can just destroy it if you never plan on putting it back to factory. So the other challenge, or the other option that there is, depends on the year range of your Jeep. So we go from 07 to 18, and in 07, you still had the subwoofer that went over here kind of between the rear fender and the tailgate. You had a subwoofer enclosure. That enclosure can be removed. Then at a later date, it was all molded into the plastic. So if you have that enclosure that's not removable, we need to know that, and then we cut this down, and then it fits into place. If you have the subwoofer that's in the cargo tray, then it doesn't matter. Unplug it and get it out of the way. So it's real easy to just remove. For installing this, this is just pressure fit. It has these legs, and the legs pressure fit between the side of the enclosure and the plastic trim panels that are on the side of the Jeep. Sometimes they're a little snug. On the sides of the plastic, you have the little metal hooks that come up, they're metal loops that are for adding a cargo net. If you loosen those screws, you can shift the plastic out and tighten them back up, and then it makes this a nice snug fit down inside there. So you can kind of adjust the tension. The way that the enclosure works sound-wise, this gives you cargo space. You can throw whatever you want to on top of it. You can tap dance on it. It's not going to hurt anything. But this gives us about 1.5 inches of clearance between the top of the enclosure and the bottom of this. So it gives us kind of a down-firing effect. So it gives us a loading chamber where all that sound is being fired forward. It gives us a little bit more output, but it's funneling the output in the direction that you're in, which helps in a Jeep, especially if you have, I mean, it's Jeep life, tops off, doors off, you know, freedom tops open, you know, whatever option you have. So they're just noisy, knobby tires, all that sort of stuff. Funneling that sound forward is super, super important. Like I said, this also fits if you have a JKU. On the U's, we make this a little bit longer. We do not go all the way to the back of the back seat just because it's going to be massive and it's going to be, you know, a big freaking piece to have to ship out, but really you don't need it to. We're just trying to protect the sub, and then you still have all the cargo space. So this will stick up off the floor just a little bit, you know, 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and then you can still pile, you know, groceries and luggage or whatever back there, and then all that base will still fire forward. So the first one of these that we did was for 2 Kenwood Exelon shallow 8s. We love their shallow 8s. They're often overlooked for the price, or any of their shallow subs, I guess, in that series. And we had them on a 500 watt Kenwood Marine amplifier. They jammed. I mean, we were very surprised. We did what we normally do. We tuned it on really bass heavy stuff. This customer was an older gentleman, a guy that we've done a bunch of projects for, and he listens to a wide mix of stuff. So it could be old, it could be modern, and poppy. It didn't matter what we threw at it. Those subs still performed and sounded awesome. Like I said, a pair of 8s, a sealed 10. Because of the space with where the tub is, 12s don't really play friendly in there. 10s are really a better fit, but even airspace wise, 10s are a better fit. The wiring comes attached on the back of the box. It's going through the fiberglass. There's a channel that's molded into it, and we give you a bunch of slack, but it just kind of is up to where you're going to mount the amplifier. But you can easily take this and put some sort of a quick disconnect on it. So it can be removable. It's not something that bolts into place. Like I said, it's a very pressure fit solution. It is fiberglass, so we're not worried about moisture or anything like that. But the top and the baffle are MDF. We haven't had anyone complain about moisture or swelling or anything. It can be bedlined if you wanted to, but there is a fee for that. But like I said, we haven't had a need to do that yet. Hopefully that answers some questions, but I think I've covered all the different topics and points. If you have any questions on these, as far as what subs you can run or any sort of preferences on equipment or anything, give us a shout. I mean, we do work on these Jeeps, so we do have some other, some insight as to equipment and installation processes on these. But if there's anything special you would like to see, just ask and we'll tell you what options we have to go over with you. Hit us up in the comments, shoot me an email at paul@netio.com. You can hit us up on Facebook and Instagram and all the socials and all that stuff, and we'll help you out whenever we can. Thanks, guys.